Hey, what's going on guys? Adrian John here, and since it's been 1 week into the season, I thought we'd do a first impressions of Season 14 or Season of the Splicer. But before we jump into this, I asked if you want to keep up to date on all Destiny 2 news, information, leaks, tutorials, and more, that you go and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, let's jump into it. So starting off here, let's go ahead and do a little story recap. So Season of the Splicer pretty much starts with Guardian Games. At the end there, Zavala ended up letting us know that the Vex were going to be up to something, and a couple days later, lo and behold, the last safe city is stuck in an endless night because of a Vex simulation. The reason for the Vex doing this is so they can siphon power from us from an unknown reason at the moment. Even with all our knowledge, we can't really do anything to free ourselves from this Vex simulation. So because of this, we have to go and seek Mithrax, a fallen that we have been working with before, the Kell of House Light, a House of Fallen that is friendly towards humans, wants to work with humans so that way they can regain a connection with the Traveler, because if you don't know, the Traveler originally was with the Fallen and then abandoned the Fallen. But anyways, the reason why Mithrax is so important is because he is a Splicer, aka a Fallen that specializes in working with technology, and specifically Mithrax, he's really good with Vex technology. So the whole point of the season is we need to learn how to become a Splicer from Mithrax, so that way we could enter the Vex network and stop whatever Vex mind is controlling all of this, and also so we can stop some of our prejudices about the Elixni, or the Fallen as most people commonly know it. Because there are prejudices about the Fallen, ends up creating tension between the last city and the House of Light. With that story recap out of the way, this brings us to the main activity of the season, that being the brand new 6-man seasonal activity Override. How this activity works is you spend the first portion collecting motes and banking them till you fill up the entire bar. Then once you complete the bar, you end up getting sucked through a portal into the Vex network where you have to do some parkour, and once you complete the parkour, you make it to the boss, you kill the boss, and then you get your loot. Also at the end of the activity, there's 2 chests. There's a regular chest that you can open no matter what, give you random piece of legendary loot, and also depending on your Splicer gauntlet, how far you have it upgraded, you can get some Season of the Splicer gear, and then you can also use charges from your Splicer gauntlet to open up the special chest, which will always give you a Season of the Splicer gear, as well as some of the material which you use to upgrade / focus engrams. I'm not going to go too far into detail there because I did make a separate video the first week going over this, which will be linked in the description down below. Anyways, this system is pretty similar to last season, and I do like the system. However, one of my problems with it last season is that I felt like things were just too expensive, and that's somewhat sort of remedied here a little bit. I will say that the core playlist activities to seasonal activity completion ratio is a lot better. It seems like now you can get 2 runs worth of ether in like 1 strike or whatever. It also seems like you can hold way more charges, which allows you to do way longer farming sessions, which again was one of my main complaints last season. Last season it just felt like I was being told when and where I could grind, and I disliked how much I had to jump back into core playlist before I could grind again. I also like that they have given us the ability to grind out as many upgrades on our Splicer gauntlet as we want. I absolutely love that. One of the things I hated last season was how the upgrades were tied to the seasonal challenges, meaning it took about like 8 weeks or so to get a fully upgraded hammer. Was not a fan of waiting that long. However, with this one, I was able to bang out like most of the important upgrades like this weekend, and so I very much like that a lot, and I hope Bungie keeps this whole grind when you want thing up. Another thing I'm liking about the season so far is the loot. The loot all around looks pretty fantastic, and I'm very much excited to grind out some god rolls, which again, they have made less of a pain in the ass compared to last season in order to grind out god rolls. I'm gonna go ahead and speak briefly here on story here, but with Season of the Hunt and Season of the Chosen, we obviously saw the bar raised pretty high than the average seasons we've been getting with Destiny, and I have to say so far, I think Season of the Splicer is going to live up to that standard, and from the leaks I've seen, we got a pretty interesting twist coming in, so I can tell you right now, I'm hella excited for that. In terms of the content outlook this season, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we got Vault of Glass returning. The loot there looks absolutely phenomenal. There's also the weekly Pinnacle mission, which I'm sure is going to give some hefty story. It's going to be similar to Season of Arrival's weekly story mission, which it got pretty samey fast. However, we did get some really, really good lore out of that, so I'm really excited. We also got 2 more override areas coming, as well as we have the Solstice of Heroes event coming way later in the season, as well as it seems like there's going to be a Vault of Glass Master mode, which I'm excited for that. I'm interested to see what loot we have associated with that. But yeah, overall, this season is looking promising, and I'm excited to see what sort of cards Bungie is going to be holding up their sleeve. Even though I've seen a couple of leaks so far, I feel like there's definitely more to this, and I'm excited. So, however, there is one large elephant in the room. Well, before we talk about the elephant in the room, I will have to say Transmog did come this season, a long-awaited feature that's been 7 years in the making. It's been working pretty well. However, what's not working pretty well is the way that you turn things into universal ornaments, aka the elephant in the room. First up, let's talk about acquisition method. The whole grind is yikes because it's kinda time gated. The Sim Strand, which is the beginning material for this whole transmogging quest grind process, you need 150 that, and you only get 1 piece of it every 2 minutes. Then the next yikes part is the bounties that you use to get the next material that you buy with the Sim Strand. Some of the bounties are like ridiculously grindy. Other than the raid/dungeon ones, I would not do any other bounty just because they take so long to do. But once you complete your bounty, you get a completely useless material because they give you the exact amount from the bounty to go turn into the next material, that being the Synth Cord or Synth Weave. I don't know. They're all named Synth something. Anyways, you go turn it in, and you finally get your piece that you can use to transmog 1 piece of armor. I would like to point out this whole process of going from the 150 Sim Strand to the bounty to the finally the Synth Weave or whatever. This is like a 6-hour minimum of gameplay time process. So this whole process of getting these transmoggable pieces is extremely time consuming. And the most frustrating part on top of this whole time-gated grind is the fact that there's an overall cap to how many of these synth weaves, or whatever the hell they're called, the things that you use to unlock the ornaments, there's a certain amount that you can unlock every season. I think right now it's like 10 per character. I mean, there's an extra 10 this season because of the intro quest, but yeah, you can only like transmog a total of 30 pieces, aka 10 pieces per character, aka 2 whole armor sets per character, which is yikes. Or you can be an absolute, I'm sorry, it's probably gonna get me removed from the algorithm for this video, or you just fucking give them money like the dumbass you are to go ahead and skip this grind by purchasing the Eververse version, which you can buy unlimited of, which is way overpriced because I'm pretty sure it's like 300 silver, which is like $3 per piece of armor, aka content we already own. I could go on and on about this, but this is a first impressions video, not a I fucking hate Eververse video, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Transmog feels great, the business practices involved, not so great. I'd have to say, if you're taking a break from Destiny, and if you like the PvE stuff in Destiny, then I'd say this is definitely the moment to jump back in. You know, there's a lot to do. You do the last 2 seasons. Also, the story content's gonna be fantastic. We got a Vault of Glass returning. It may be an old raid, but the loot definitely got a fresh feel, as well as Vault of Glass is getting some subtle changes, as well as not to mention that we're also getting other PvE content. If you're on the PvP side, however, I would sit back, keep sitting this out. But yeah, my first thoughts are this season's good and it's looking real good. You enjoyed the video, go ahead and give a like. If you want to keep up to date on Destiny news and stuff, go subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.